before I start, I know the quality is not great. I don't have enough storage on my phone. This has been a persistent issue. I am really bad at like deleting stuff, so my camera roll is just full of unnecessary stuff, so I'm filming on my iPad. Please bear with me. I have been wanting to do the Booktube newbie tag ever since I saw it. I saw someone do this. I forgot his name. I hope you're not too bothered by the noise in the background, but this is the only time I can record this right now. If it is too bad, I will probably just not post this. So if I have posted this, it will probably be okay-ish. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Hi, I am Damla, and you can also call me Rainy. The like by my channel's name. I'm fine with either. I have to look for the questions. Give me a second. First question: why did you start this channel? My boyfriend is to blame. I talk a lot, like a lot. I talk about books a lot, especially if I am reading something. Regardless of whether I like it or don't like it, I always have something to say. And my boyfriend doesn't read that much, so I will just explain the entire story to him, tell him what's happening, my opinions of it. And at some point, he was like, "You could start a channel talking about books," and I was like, "Huh, you're right." So here we are. This is something I had been thinking of doing, but I'm always kind of hesitant with these things because I want to do everything the right way and I want everything to be perfect, but we all have to start somewhere. So this is me trying. Hello, it's Editing Damla. Ignore the bad lighting. The sun is setting, as you can maybe tell, but another thing that is sort of a reason why I wanted to do this, I want to get better at giving my opinion on a book, and I know there's not like technically a way to be good at it, but when I say that, I specifically mean that I often struggle with voicing my thoughts and opinions on a book. I sort of have this small joke with a friend of mine that a lot of my reviews are just based on vibes. And while that is partially true, there's also a part where I just really struggle to word how I feel about it. So I'm hoping that by doing this and by practicing that in a way, I hopefully get better at articulating my thoughts. So yeah, just wanted to add that because I didn't in the video. And now back to the original video. Bye. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? To be completely honest, I am not sure. I suppose every person is unique, so every person brings their own unique perspective to Booktube. This is such like a BS answer, but I guess, I don't know. I do want to create a space where everyone is just kind of chill, regardless of what books we like and dislike. Like, you have every right to like and dislike what you want. So it would maybe be nice to create that space, just, and I do enjoy reading, but I sometimes felt a little intimidated by some, not all, but some people on here who will read like hundreds of books a year, and my current reading goal for this year is 20 books. It's not a bad thing to read a lot, of course, but it sometimes intimidates me a little, and I sometimes forget that there are people that actually have this as their job. Meanwhile, I'm a student, I'm a full-time student, so it's a bit more difficult. So maybe in that sense, I bring something different because there's a lot of people on here who will, which is great, read a ton of books back to back. I just can't do that, realistically speaking. What are you most excited about? I think trying to become part of a community and like meet new people. Not that I like don't have friends in real life. I do. Not that many that I see often or talk to often. I'm not that great with like maintaining friendships, not gonna lie. But I hope that this is maybe an area where I can meet new people and bond over something that we all enjoy, which is reading. Hopefully that can help. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that, and also just putting my opinions out there because I talk a lot. Not that my opinions are like revolutionary or that different necessarily, but everyone's different. When did you start reading? Oh wait, I've skipped over a question. Why do you love reading? I love reading for a lot of reasons. If I compare it to movies, for example, reading to some extent gives you a little more freedom, because you can still imagine everything that's going on in your head if everything is written well, of course, but still. And I like that there's basically something out there for everyone, like regardless of how old you are, regardless of what genres you enjoy, what tropes you enjoy, what types of characters you enjoy reading about. I feel like there's for almost anyone something out there. And if there isn't, you yourself can make it, which is cool. I also used to write as a hobby when I was younger, but I don't have that much time to do that anymore. But I would write sometimes. I was like, oh, this story idea is pretty cool. This would be cool. I never published anything, but it's just fun. When did you start reading? Basically as soon as I learned how to read. I was that gifted kid as a kid. I would read a lot of books to the point that I had to go to like grades above me to get books because I had read everything that was in my grade level. And I went to the library a lot. I would like borrow a ton of books. So I don't know how common this was, but I remember I used to have these like subscriptions to Disney books. I would get them I think every month, and I would read those too. So that's when I started reading. My first loves, like my first books that I enjoyed, I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I remember reading Matilda multiple times. That was a fun book. Then I had a period where I wouldn't read that much when I was in high school, especially because we had to read books for high school. And I'm not gonna lie, they weren't that interesting. You could tell they were written by people who... I'm not saying older people can't write books aimed or like for an audience that is younger, but with some of the books that I had to read, I was like, well, you can tell that like an older person wrote this, and it's not really that appealing. And I think because I had to do it, I was just like, well, yeah, I don't have time to read books that I would actually enjoy, so I kind of just like stopped reading. And then around lockdown, I think like right before it started actually, I got back into reading again by reading A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I don't remember how to pronounce her last name. I'm so sorry. English is not my first language. But I started reading that, which I still have not finished that trilogy, but I bought the third book recently. So anyway, but it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say that it's like the most revolutionary book and it like changed me in every single way, but I don't think every book has to. It was just really fun and got me back into like reading again. So I would say that's like a second first love, trying to read more. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? That's a good question. What questions would I ask them? I suppose some of the questions that are on here that I just answered would be interesting to know from them, but some of them may have already answered or like done this Booktube newbie tag. I'm not prepared, as you can tell. I don't know if I have like specific questions, so maybe I should just skip this question. What challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome? Perfectionism. Didn't have to think about that. I am perfectionistic, and I don't mean that in the sense that like everything I do actually is perfect or is actually like super revolutionary amazing. What happens is I chicken out because I'm like, well, this is not perfect, this is not how it should be, so I end up not posting what I created. And I've had that before because I've had this channel for a while, and I've posted like a couple of videos, but every time at some point I would really have to push myself to post the video because I'm so like worried. I want everything to be perfect, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, and I want to describe my thoughts. So yeah, I'm gonna try to overcome that. I'm gonna try to just upload things when I'm done. They won't be perfect, but that's part of the process. I think practice makes perfect, so hopefully I'll get over it. And if not, I don't know. Another thing I struggle with, I'm a full-time uni student. I don't know how often I'll be able to upload. It also depends on how quickly I finish books, or like if I have topics to talk about, if it's not about a specific book. So we'll see how that goes, I guess. I'm gonna try my best. Where do you read? I read a lot on the train. I commute to university, so which is usually like 40 minutes if everything goes smoothly, which gives me more than enough time. My boyfriend also lives like maybe an hour away, but no, less than that, not an hour. Also 40 minutes away by train, so then I get to read too. I sometimes read before bed, so in bed too, before I go to sleep. And yeah, I sometimes I sometimes read at uni when we have like we always have like a 15-minute break halfway in the class, and if I'm alone I'm just like, oh, let me just read a few pages, which is not always a good idea. I finished Six of Crows, either Six of Crows or Crooked Kingdom at uni, and I was trying really hard not to make any weird facial expressions because there's a bunch of people and they're gonna be like, why the fuck are you looking at your book like that? But it can be good if I want to finish a book. Not always the best idea. What kind of books do you like to read? I'm just looking at my shelf. Fantasy? Almost everything on my shelf is fantasy. Maybe some romantasy. I also like manga, does that count? I read some contemporary and like romance books. I like biographies too. I read a lot of them as a kid. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I also really enjoy biographies. What genre is Pride and Prejudice? I'm reading that right now. The books I read, the genres, or that I am reading at the moment, are not that exciting, in the sense that it's mostly fantasy or romantasy and contemporary YA romance. But I am open to reading more and reading different genres, so I hope maybe in that way this channel can also help. Maybe like dark romance and like gore-ish horror stuff I wouldn't enjoy. But aside from that, I would say I'm pretty open. Ooh, I maybe want to get into science fiction, but I don't know where to start. Wrap up and current reads. I don't want to talk about the recent book I finished. I didn't like it that much. I feel bad saying that. Where is it? I wrapped it because I was going to give this at a book swap, but then I found a different book that I maybe want to give because that book's better. The recent book that I finished is The Wedding Dress by Danielle Steele. I think I gave this one a 2.5 stars on my Goodreads, so I think that tells you my opinion of it. It's not a bad, it's like smack dab in the middle. It's not a bad book, but I've read better, and I probably wouldn't recommend it, I think. So yeah, that's the most recent book that I finished, and at the moment I am reading Pride and Prejudice. I'm reading it on my phone, so I don't have to... Oh wait, actually I have a copy. This is kind of funny. I have a copy of Pride and Prejudice. Literally printed out. But yeah, I hope you understand why I wouldn't bring this with me when I take the train somewhere, so that's why I'm reading it on my phone. I do prefer physical books. But yeah, I'm reading Pride and Prejudice right now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm almost done. I'm trying to finish it this week. And after that, I am starting A Vow So Bold and Deadly, which is the third and final book of the Curse Breakers trilogy by Bridget Kimmerer. I should really look up how to say her last name. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think that's everything. I'm really looking forward to posting on here. I've recently purchased some books, so there will be some reviews. I'm gonna end it here because there's a lot of noise in the background. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourself, and I hope you have a nice day. I will see you next time. Bye.